Hey there, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
And on this week's podcast episode, it's actually a bonus podcast. We break down a new thing in Evan's business.
It's actually very exciting. I mean, they're always exciting, but this is extra very exciting.
No, if you've ever wondered how Evan works,
you're going to see it.
Hey there, it's Mark and Evan. Something Proof Podcast is a bonus episode, mostly because Evan is launching a brand new product. And we've been working behind the scenes for the last, month and a half or something, on this stuff. And I was like, finally, I have something to present to Evan. So he's going to get feedback. You guys get to listen in real time to how Evan works. And yeah, here you go.
How was your holiday, Mark? This is like a bonus little
a bonus episode, my holiday. It was good. That was like a week and a bit ago now. So I went away for the weekend. My wife and I rented a cabin in the middle of nowhere. And usually it's like a really busy resort and stuff, but of course no one's there. So we went up north, which was amazing. We had a pretty quiet Christmas. And then I started renovating a bathroom in my house and thinking of you. You've totally ruined, I used to love renovation and stuff. And now every time I start a project, I'm like, man, this is so 3 years ago, Mark. Like, this isn't, but
all right. I think it's a you're welcome. I don't know.
Kind of. How was your holidays?
I was supposed to go to BC to be with Hayden. And Air Canada actually set up a new flight that was only business class. The whole plane was only business class. 48 seats on the whole plane. It's like, okay, book 2 tickets. Shorter wait time. Don't have to go be there super early. It's within the country. It's not a big deal. We looked at private charter options. We looked at and the whole thing got shut down. BC wasn't letting people in, especially coming from Ontario. So we had to cancel that, and then we moved everything to be kind of online with me and Hayden. So we spend a lot of time every day online together. His school extended the vacation to an extra week.
Yeah.
So here in Ontario, we're doing virtual classes. So everybody went back to school this week, but just mostly from home.
I know. I've been struggling to try and figure out. I knew when we had 4 kids, that'd be a handful of times, but I never thought of 4 different kids on 4 different devices with 4 different schedules, all in different parts of the house. So that way they can't hear each other and distract each other and stuff. I'm like, that's been something.
So his school had a 3-week break. So he had nothing to do this week. And was sad that our time was ending and all this. So I basically worked, I don't know, half days and spent time with him. So
he gets that way, doesn't he? Like, I remember last year around this time, you were getting ready to go on your big trip, right? He flew into Ontario. Transitioning out of spending like holiday time is a challenge for him, or?
Yeah. I think though too, because he's not going back to anything yet. You know, his school was not on. Tomorrow he's going back to in classroom schools.
Are they?
Yeah. In
wow.
GC. So anyway, so I spent the past week either working on just super essential stuff or being with him, and basically making my schedule around his. So I wake up earlier, work. So I haven't posted anything in social. I haven't been it's just been bare bones, whatever I need to get done for work, and then spend the rest of the time with him.
Yeah.
And so this, tomorrow is Monday for us here recording this. This is now getting back to regular life, regular schedule. So I feel behind on everything, because in my head it was 2 weeks off, and then back into it. And then just as I'm gearing to get back into it, it's like, oh, can we spend more time together? So there's a bunch of stuff that happened last week. I had, I'm faculty at Joe Polish's Genius Network. They had their what are we doing for 2021 session, and I've got lots of things that I want to push that are not pushing anywhere near where they need to push, and that's fine, and that's a chosen time off. But I feel I'm ready to go. It's like, come on, let's do it. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to launch. I'm ready to get back into 100% swing of things.
It's so interesting. I was thinking about you. I mean, I've been thinking about you a lot for the last week and a half or 2 weeks, because I've been rolling around all this Brandlytics stuff that we're going to talk about and get into. But yesterday I was thinking about you specifically because I was out for a walk And I was thinking about the conversation that you had. Remember when you did the one-on-one with your agent? Oh gosh,
Hank?
what's his name?
Steve? Hank.
Okay. And you really pushed him on purpose is the pain. And he just kept coming back with, listen, Evan, if I could do anything, I would do nothing. Like, and I was thinking how for the first week of my break, I really did nothing. Like I really checked out of everything for almost a week. And then that started really feeling old. Like you just don't feel, I don't feel good. Like I just don't feel good doing nothing. And yet I want to do nothing. Like I'm so tempted to putter and to play and to not do anything and to not make progress. And I was thinking about the conversation here with Steve or with Hank. And I was thinking, if you could do anything, would some people choose to do nothing? And how long would that last for before it really got old? And I think it's about a week because by the second week of my break, I was like, let's go do something. Like, let's renovate this bathroom. Like I could do 2 or 3 days of really hard work and then maybe take a day off or whatever. But did you actually, you didn't check out you didn't like when you were off for 2 weeks, you were still doing stuff though, right?
I don't like if I'm doing nothing, then it's an intentional nothing, right? It's like everything is intentional. So I had to decide even in the past week to spend all the time that I spent with Hayden for hours every day that were not initially budgeted. It means I'm not. So what am I going to have to pull away? I'm not going to cancel meetings on people, though I canceled with Manco. We pushed some of my IG lives. I only did one IG live in the past week. The things that I could push, I pushed, and the other ones that would be a big inconvenience, I kept. And I didn't post stories. I haven't done my 10 questions with Evan. Like the
last time I saw 10 questions, you were like, "Hey, this IG thing didn't go out, so there's no questions today."
That was
fun.
And so slowed momentum everywhere, but that's fine. I don't mind it. It's like it's a conscious choice to say, I'm doing this, and I'm doing. I mean, everything I do with Hayden has to be on the computer, right? So he introduced me to Minecraft, and we set up some servers playing there. We're doing
today there was a day where you had to really focus on collecting resources because you texted that to me by accident.
Yeah. Hey, like leadership life lessons are in everything. Like the best thing to do is actually spend time with your kids doing the things that they like and then teach them how to react to things.
I know. Over the break, I started playing my Fortnite with my kids. And it's kind of become a thing now. Like, and I was like, oh, because I didn't really like video games. I don't really like video games, but all of us, me and 3 of the kids jumping on headsets and like playing as teams. And then I recognized in them that the way that their style of play totally reflects their greatest personality traits. So like my oldest son, Jonah, if he plays on a team, he will do anything to save his team members. Like he'll like go steal a plane, get in a plane, fly in, parachute out just to try and save us. Whereas me, I'm just like, oh, you got caught in a storm or whatever, off I go. Right. And I was like, me and my kids were talking about the ways that they play and the things that they're teaching me about like teamwork and gameplay and stuff by doing that. So that was a pretty fun thing that happened during that week when I was doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that people are surprised by that.
I'm surprised by that because I don't spend this up until this year. I haven't spent that much time with my kids. We don't intentionally spend time with them doing that. We all spend so much time organizing and doing life.
How you are in one situation is pretty much how you are everywhere. So you could teach them teamwork. You could teach them resource management. You can teach them math. You could teach them leadership. You could teach them resourcefulness. You could teach them when they die and they freak out and start yelling or crying, right? Like you teach them how to deal with
the situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Just be there with them. I never played Minecraft. I mean, I've done a lot of League of Legends, but I never played Minecraft before.
Are you guys playing creative? Or are you guys playing the world with like the zombies and all that stuff?
Of course, creative. It's cheating.
Oh, see, my kids play creative, and I get bored with it. It's just too. Yeah, it's just too much of a sandbox.
You got to play. Yeah, you got to play. You got to play. You got to get killed. You got to be off exploring, and a creeper blows you up, and you lost everything. You don't know where you're at.
Right.
You got to go back to zero, right? Like, these are the lessons. This is what you learn. How about next time you take a compass with you so you don't get lost? No, I'm not going to teleport you back to spawn, right? Like, these are the lessons. This is great. This is valuable learnings. And you get that by spending time and doing things that they like. It's why when you're coaching and you're asking questions and you're just being with the person, how they respond is indicative. It tells you the entire story. Jonah will show up the same way everywhere. His own version of it. So you could do that by looking at his school and going to parent-teacher interviews and all that, or you could just spend time with him inside Fortnite and you'll figure out the lessons. Like, it's just everywhere. It's super easy. They don't even know what's happening. Like, this is parenting happening right now. You know, when I'm playing with Hayden, we're parenting inside Minecraft. Let's go.
I like it. Well, I only learned that this week. So, you don't know why people are so surprised with it. I was surprised with it. I was like, oh man, but it was just so glaringly obvious how
it's the same thing everywhere. How do they handle going down the toboggan hill? Somebody's going to give the toboggan and say, no, you go first. No, it's okay. You go do it. Somebody's going to be too afraid to get on the hill because there's all these other kids who might watch them fail. Somebody's going to grab the toboggan and just go and knock out some kid along the way because they don't even care and they're not paying attention, right? It's like they're going to show up the same way everywhere. Understanding what games they like to play and why. When you're playing League of Legends and there's 250 characters or champions or whatever number it is by now, the one that you pick and how you play them speaks to your personality and your style.
Right.
Most people just see it as, oh, wow, that's just a computer game. No, this is a chance for you to actually get to know your kids better and then actually teach them valuable parenting lessons while they just think you're spending time together.
Good hack, guys. It's a good hack.
Good hack.
Mommy bloggers have been talking about it for years now, but I just learned that over the Christmas break. Because typically when my kids would say like, hey, can we play? I would just say like, I don't play video games. And that's it. I would just, I know they weren't asking to play. They were asking for quality time. They were asking for attention. They were asking for one-on-one time. I'm, not that blind to it. But I kind of told them a few months ago, like, listen, you guys want to spend more time with me? Start pitching me things that I like, like, no, I don't want to watch this TV show that you guys are super into that I don't care about. But if we find one that we're both into, we're going to spend a lot more time together. So
TVs are harder though, because TV is not active; it's passive.
Yes.
So there's no behavior.
Right.
I mean, there's a little bit in terms of how they react. Are they scared of it? What shows are they watching? Who's their favorite character and why? But you have to force the activity. We're in a game. It's a very
I naturally do that anyway because I talk through TV shows. So I'll be like, oh, that was a good joke. And why do you think they did that? And what's happening? And so like, if people like complete silence when they're watching something, they do not want to watch something with me.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch stuff with you. That's why we don't hang out, Mark. That's why we don't hang out.
I know we don't hang out. We just work around each other, apparently.
So I missed a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't like, I'm super grateful for the week that I just had. But now who's going back to school tomorrow? Mm-hmm. I'm ready to go and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So part of that is this. So we're here launching Brandlytics.
Do you want to introduce what Brandlytics is? I don't think anyone. I think people on the podcast might be getting like the first time that we're hearing you introduce this and describe it.
Yeah, things are really coming together where I don't think I have to do a lot of new stuff. It feels like Built to Serve is still what I want to be pushing. Mm-hmm. It feels like my Movement Makers program is really coming along. My YouTube channels are really coming along. And then I had this other piece where when people call me in to speak or want my help, it's either one in the camp of believe and motivation and entrepreneurship and getting started and getting your ideas off the ground and heavy on that side, or it's the people who want my help with building their brand, especially on YouTube, and then scaling that out. So like we've talked about on the podcast before, when I'm talking to Brendan Burchard and Dean Graziosi and those guys, we're not talking about believe and how I need to make Brendan believe more. We're talking about YouTube and growth and how to make data-driven decisions. So those are the two worlds that I get pulled into. And there's some crossover, but not a lot. You know, when I'm talking heavy on the brand, sometimes I do have to get people into, okay, you can make this video, you can do that, you can make this happen. But it's not as it's usually pretty distinct how people know me. I'm either the Believe guy or the YouTube guy in the circles that I play in, for the most part. And then I guess League of Legends guy or business guy in that world. But I'm the Believe guy or the YouTube guy. And I didn't know how the worlds kind of fit together. I had the YouTube Growth Bootcamp, which is a product that I made that I'm super proud of, that we put a lot of effort into. And I realized coming into the end of last year that I needed to update it. The content was still great, but some of the screenshots had changed as YouTube's back end, minor changes. Nobody was complaining. You could still find everything, but they update their back end, and like that thing, how I show my screenshot is not there anymore. And it's called something else, or it's a different color. And I noticed it more than any of my customers, but it's bothered me. It's like, I don't want to have that thing out there that that's out of date. So I was faced in November, December with the decision, okay, I need to re-record all these videos again. And I didn't want to record the videos again. So that's where it started the path of like, you know what? That paired with the fact that Movement Makers is so much fun and so amazing. And every 2 weeks, we got such a great group of people who count on it, rely on it, have built connections with each other, and they're starting to see, progress and momentum. I love the idea of the membership. And so how do I turn the YouTube stuff I'm doing into more of a membership model, which is against a lot of the typical advice because it's more work, like it's so convenient. You just make the videos.
Yep.
And then what's a big deal, Evan? Once a year, update the videos.
Right. But that's not what feeds you.
Yeah,
right?
like
what
I don't
feeds
want
you
to.
is the
It's
interaction
like,
and the coaching
like
and
the
the strategy and the push.
I like the one-on-one. I like the groups. Like I like being with the people.
Yeah.
It fuels me. It's not just a X's and O's efficiency problem that we're solving. So that's the decision, was to turn it into a membership where every 2 weeks I am helping people who want to build their brand, making data-driven decisions, looking primarily at YouTube and then expanding to the social networks. And I read this stuff in a lot of the groups that I'm a part of, high-level kind of marketing groups where that's the expertise that I bring. And so it's not just YouTube, even though YouTube is the home. I just think YouTube should be the foundation for where people are. I need to use that content for everywhere. So we're calling it Brandlytics, the combination of building a brand using analytics. So Brandlytics. It's not designed for somebody who's just getting started. It's people who are a little further along. Either they've already built somewhat of a business and now want to become the industry expert, or they are sending somebody on their team. So you already have a team. You're not going to be the person in the group, but you want to build your company and you've got somebody on the team who's in charge of all this. You send them into the group and they're the ones who are going to actually execute. So it's higher level execution to build your brand with access to me. Belief is not really part of it. I mean, it's always going to be baked in, but we're diving right into data and analytics, and it's probably a lot more tough love. Like when I think about the jam sessions I did with people, like, oh my God, yeah, that sucks right there. See how it falls off a cliff right at the beginning? You lost 70% of the people in the first 15 seconds. Like we got to not do that again.
We're talking to the Something to Prove podcast listeners right now. So basically the way Evan treats me is how he treats people in this group. Just direct, honest feedback.
Probably a little nicer.
You
Mark
think so?
Still gets, no, like the closer you get, the harder, the more.
The harder the push.
Yeah, like the faster we get there. Closer we get, the faster we get there. But it's not, that's what they're there for. They're there for that push to learn what they're doing wrong and how to make it better. So that's the concept. And I'm basically taking all the people who, this isn't available for sale yet, although maybe, I don't know when this episode's going to get released, but right now, the initial step is I need to get something up. We moved the YouTube growth, any links over the YouTube growth bootcamp now forward to Brandlytics. There's a coming soon page that my I don't know, what would you call Tyler? He's not a designer. My
No,
funnels guy.
he's a funnel optimist.
My funnel guy, designer, I guess, funnel designer. We got on not even a call. We just messaged a little bit back and forth about what I was trying to build.
Yep.
And he just threw together a landing page. Actually pretty good for it was his last day before Christmas. He said, I want to work on
Christmas
something for
Eve
you today.
or something, wasn't it?
I want to work on something for you today. What do you need my help with? And I said, put up a Brandlytics landing page. And I was okay with just Brandlytics coming soon. Yeah, like just something basic with a little bit of logo work. Mark and I worked on the logo. I'm going to share my screen. This is the logo that Mark and I came up with, which was fun. That was a fun little jam session, I guess in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we click on it, and this is basically the simple page that my guy Tyler put together in a couple hours and put it up, and decent, like better than I expected. The language isn't great, it isn't perfect, but it's good. Like it's not misrepresenting the brand or something that I'm not proud of for what it is. So he put that together. And then that was phase one. Like, okay, great. I got something up today. It's up. We can link to it. You can't buy it, right? It says launch in January 2021. Like when you click on it, nothing happens, I hope. Right. And so he just threw a bunch of stuff together. So next step was, hey, Mark's got to make this sing, put some great language to it, work through, basically the wireframe.
The everything.
But the content, right? And then Tyler can turn it into something final, ready to go, right? This is great how you put all this stuff in. Like accountability and support is not something that these people really super care about, but it doesn't matter. Like he's just coming up with some ideas and putting it in here.
And
what we're going to do today is actually look at, I haven't seen it, Mark's draft. I have it open here, but I haven't gone through it, of what he wants to put in. And then
can you share my screen? Is that something I already hit share screen, but I don't know how you make it so you're watching. So that way everybody can see my
content, right?
Yeah. But I just want to be able to go through it and scroll on my own and not tell you to like scroll here, scroll there and highlight stuff. So
no, I'll go through it. I don't want to go at your pace. Jesus, Mark.
Go over to my screen. This wasn't even booked for the podcast. I need this time before you go back with Hayden to actually cover certain things. So if you can.
Are we not looking at this then today?
We will. Can you just go over to my screen, please?
I'm not happy with this, Mark. Okay.
Thank you.
Screen. This better be productive. Here we go. Let's go.
Awesome. Okay. So first of all, what I've spent, so I have about 14 hours into looking at this page. I added it up. I've spent 14 hours just on this page, not any of the background stuff. It's a very, very, very long page.
Okay.
The tone and the adjectives, I have like so many different adjectives, like insider hack or advanced tactics or proven systems or fastest way. Like I have alternates for everything. So yes, I know we're going to Evanize this. I know we're going to change some of the adjectives, but what I spent most of the time on actually is trying to figure out how to package the positioning of this so it's not confusing to people. So really what I want to focus on today is more than just the adjective or whether you like a line or not. It's more, are we actually selling and explaining this properly? So as you mentioned, Brandlytics, the science of building a massive following through data-driven decisions. You might like massive following, you might like subs, you might want, whatever. We can change the actual words. But okay, so we land on the page, the fastest way for a thought leader to grow to 1 million+ following. Join the Brandlytics community and get the battle-tested tactics that people like. We'll figure out what their names are. Name 1, name 2, name 3 are using to become household names. Or if we don't like listing 3 people, we have the biggest names. And if we don't like becoming household names, we have grow 1 million+ followings or blow up their brand. And I need you to either cut down this why YouTube video or re-record it specifically for this audience. So I don't know if you remember, in November of 2019, you recorded this video, why YouTube. It's still relevant, still went through it, but it would make sense for us to...
I think we keep it because we've got Brendan at the front. Oh no! What is this?
No. This is from your YouTube bootcamp funnel. So this is why YouTube is the best platform to grow your business.
Why don't we take the clip from me in Puerto Rico, Because I talk about why YouTube.
Yeah, that's used later. I don't want all of the video content. I have lots of different segments that we've pulled, including like, here's Puerto Rico 19 to 21. Here's a different video I need you to re-record. Here's HPX, Growth Summit, I think. So I don't want to use you in the same shirt on the same stage everywhere. So
no, just that. Well, why I think it's great here is because you want to say that it's like whoever. We're not going to put 3 people's names in.
Okay.
But if you're saying, here's what these people like, you're basically saying we're learning from the strategy that I'm using and that I'm teaching other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you lead that video, at the beginning of that video is Brendan saying, this is the smartest guy I know on YouTube.
We use that later.
Well, why not use that later? If you're talking about how to become the household name, like these people who we're not going to name, we're not going to put Brendan Burchard in the text here.
Why can't we put 3 big names here? Do you have enough pull to ask for it?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, let's just work through the whole page, and then, but I want the why YouTube pitch, but the way that you explain it in Brendan later, I use segments of it, isn't as articulate as this one is. And I'm going to have you re-record some stuff later anyway, because I need up-to-date numbers. I need 2021 numbers, not 2019 numbers or 2020 numbers. But I would lead with you in your office up here, and then save the stage stuff for later. But we can,
or then maybe we do. So most people, what they're like, anything that's already public domain, they're happy with, they're okay with. Anything else requires a lot more asking. And like, yep. So it's like, is this the thing that I want to ask for? Like, it
no, I know that's
low leverage, right?
That's why we have so this could be join the Brandalytics community and get the insider hacks that the biggest names are using to grow 1 million plus following. Like I wrote this and rewrote this line probably 30 different times and changed it until finally I was like, okay, I know that it's like a bit of a choose your own adventure. You've used advanced tactics as a term like a lot, and I like it. Proven systems gives people the feeling that it's proven. Insider hacks feels like it's late breaking, but then it feels like it's always precarious on edge.
I think at the top of that video needs to be, if you don't want to use the Puerto Rico one here,
no.
then you've got, well, hold on. Then we need to lead with some of the comments or testimonials, like just to kick it off. Like, you've got the clip of Brendan saying, smartest guy I know on YouTube. You've got Jordan Belfort saying, everybody go buy this guy's YouTube.
That's later on the page. That's deep. That's deeper. That's not the thing that we want to start with, because most people landing here need to know what this is. They need to know what this is and where it fits for them and how it can help them before social proof, before credibility. And we have a logo bar right underneath this with all of the featured in, YouTube Summit and we're just a logo bar right there. But
you can't. This look at your subheadline. It's talking about what other people are doing. Tactics like either specific names or people. Like the biggest names. If you're saying it's what the biggest names are using, show me the biggest names. Like 5-second clips, not even. Smartest guy I know on YouTube. You got to go buy this guy's YouTube course. You're going to learn a lot from this guy, whatever, right? I mean, I'm trying to think of what people actually said. And then it cuts to me. You got like a 10-second bump at the beginning of recognizable people saying how smart I am about YouTube. And then
we can look into that. You're selling, I think you're selling the wrong thing, right? We would be using up valuable real estate to prove that this guy that you're not quite sure if knows a lot about YouTube, when you don't even know yet. Like you can see, we haven't even used the word YouTube here yet. Like you're just landing there. What is this thing? What is it that we're selling, right? We're selling the fastest way or the battle tested strategy, or we're selling the way for people to go from not having it to having it. And then terms like learn about membership rather than get started or buy now or 97 per month or whatever it is just to help establish the context of oh, this is a membership that I'm buying into. Oh, this is a monthly thing. And then here we start to actually explain in greater detail, we still haven't gone into detail as to 2 85-minute sessions per month, one based on case studies, one based on this, but we're starting to get into that. If you want to just lead with social proof, social proof, social proof, we can cut a specific video with people there, but we have so much proof on this page that I would want to establish the need before proving that you're awesome, because that's about to come right here. Like there's just a wall of awesomeness that's just a few levels down.
Yeah, then I would take out the subheadline. I mean, your battle tested tactics, or whatever we call it.
Yeah, we don't have to use XYZ. We could use the biggest names. We could use what,
but
like, we don't have to use the.
That's part of, if that's part of the pitch, then your assets match the pitch.
They don't have to, Evan. That's fine. I don't want to get caught up on this. The line will change then, but
I think it's actually smart. No, I mean, not specific names. I think it's good. In my, if we're being general and saying some of the biggest names, in my recorded video on the right there that you're going to put, I'm not going to say specific names.
No, I know you're not. This video isn't to illustrate this one point, right?
No, but it should complement it. So yes. In my pitch, I'm not going to say any big names, but if we had them at the beginning as the intro to say Evan Carmichael is the guy you need to listen to, it ties it together.
But Evan, this why YouTube pitch is to support this. Like Brandlytics is the fastest way to grow to 1 million plus following. This is context and credibility. But this video is to support the H1, not one kind of marketing point in the H2.
But you wrote the H2
to provide context for the H1.
Exactly.
This video is to provide context for the H1. The video is not to provide context for this point within the H2.
But you listen to what you just said. The H2 provides context to the H1.
Yes.
The video
provides context for the H1.
Yes.
And the fastest way for a thought leader to grow is we do not need people talking about Evan.
So why do you need it for the context? You need it for the context for the text, but you don't need it for the context of the video. If it makes sense to add it in the text, it makes sense to add it in the video. H2 provides context for the H1.
The H2, the call to action in the video are 3 different assets. Mm-hmm. All of them are to provide context and support the H1 and then move people deeper into the page.
Yes, and the video is long form context compared to one sentence in the H2.
Yes, and starting off the video, we'll look into it, but starting off the video with people talking about how great you are sells you and sells credibility rather than us talking about why grow, why YouTube, right? I texted you a few days ago and said, hey, most people coming to this page, because we're not driving traffic to it, most people coming to this page are coming from one of your events. And you said, assume that we need to reestablish this pitch. So why does YouTube make sense, right? It's the only platform that pays you to make content. It's the only platform where content lasts forever.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
That pitch supports this more so than just that.
It's not just that. I'm not saying make the whole video a testimonial reel. In your H2, which is the one sentence opportunity to give more context to the H1. That's what the H2 does. You have a one sentence. You have to jam in the most important parts to give context to H1. You chose to include these names. A video is a long form version of it. It should be following the same architecture. How do you have it as the most important part to give context is other people's names, but then we're going to completely leave it out of the video?
Because it doesn't have to follow the same architecture, because it too is doing its own job.
It's the number
I
one.
I don't need to double up. No, but these names, these are just words. This can be anything.
No, but it's not anything. It's not anything. The backup, the substitute is the biggest names. It's either same people's names or if you didn't. But dude, man, I'm trying to come up. No, because maybe you didn't like the word community. Maybe you don't like battle tested. Maybe this whole structure has to be rewritten. Join Brandlytics community and get the promise you're using to become the outcome, right? Like the structure
we can swap in and out 15 different things. And I tried a lot of them.
Yeah.
But let's just keep moving, because we're getting bogged down on this one point. And we can start off with.
Yeah, we should cut the word community. I don't think it matters.
No, because so this is important though.
I agree.
What I've packaged this as, because otherwise last week when I kept asking you questions, I just couldn't make sense of how to sell this.
Okay.
So basically the way that I'm positioning it is, you are buying a monthly membership to a program or a community. You're buying a monthly membership into a community, and you get tactical training, you get coaching, you get results straight from the lab, you get community access, you get access to replays and past things. I've created another thing that we'll have to
I just don't think anybody cares about community. I mean, listen, ultimately the community is the thing that will be the glue, but nobody's joining for community. Okay.
So if not community, do you prefer calling this a program, or because we don't want to call it mastermind, right?
No, because they're learning from me.
Yes.
They think they're learning from me, which they are.
Group. It's like a program. It's a group. It's a community. It's a
training, membership.
Yeah.
Join the brand. Okay. So you want to put join the Brandlytics X.
Yeah, it's got to be something. So Brandlytics is the only YouTube growth something that gives you and your team proven strategies, 1 million plus channels used every day to grow audiences, insider hacks that have unlocked 100K per month revenue in less than 60 days, training, case study reviews, and ongoing coaching for channels of all sizes, direct access to your own community of high achievers, all personally led by Evan Carmichael, the man who's generated over 1 billion organic views on YouTube.
Yeah, perfect. That's great.
So I just need a term for, and when we can come back to it, we just need to call it something.
Program?
System can work. Program. I like program because it's intuitive, but at the same time, what the hell does that mean? Like, it doesn't. Yeah.
Training. System. Join the Brandlytics.
Training.
It's basically. I mean, the actual group is called Brandlytics Training.
Yeah.
It could just be join Brandlytics Training.
Yep.
And get
that could be before New Year's. I asked you about Brandlytics Training, Brandlytics tools, Brandlytics this and that, and we didn't quite nail naming convention. But okay, so social proof stack. What people say about Evan Carmichael and his YouTube training. Lewis Howes. Evan's YouTube strategies blew my mind. Evan is one of the greatest smart. Like, you've seen all these quotes. I wanted to see.
Did Lewis say that?
I pulled this off of your active YouTube growth bootcamp landing page.
Oh, okay, great.
So he must have. It's on one of your other public pages.
Yeah, great. It's the thing. Hey, if they've said it, we can use it.
So we have all of these great things. I'm wondering if we can't get, because I know that you have upcoming opportunities with different people to do stuff. I'm wondering if we shouldn't get Grant Cardone a quote, like more than, like Evan's a good guy or whatever quote we've been using. If you're going to participate in 10X.
How did he intro me? Have you seen that video?
No.
Oh, you haven't seen the video. All right. That's a good video. I mean, we might want to use bits of that.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a video. So
I presented.
I have you like, hey, didn't you get a book out, brother? Yeah. You're the kids.
No,
you got to follow this guy. But
no, that was no. I spoke at his 10X thing, and I was the only one he insisted had to come back later on in the day to keep the training going. I don't remember what he said about me. It was obviously highly positive.
Yeah. So, and then the only other one, because I know that you are connected, as you mentioned, with the Genius Network, it would make sense for us to get a quote there, and any other affiliates that you're kind of working with. But these are like photo of you, like photo, name, quote, photo, name, quote, just like a block of photo, name, quote. Evan's one of the smartest guys on YouTube. Listen to what he says. Brandon Bouchard, get Brandlytics for you and your team. Okay. Yeah. So at this point now, this is typically on a landing page where people start to either look for context or they just scroll right past it. So I do not assume that anyone will be reading this. You can't wait for growth. Blowing up your brand shouldn't take a decade or cost $500,000, but most people think you only have two options: to simply post content and pray that it'll eventually hits, or throw a lot of money at complicated ad strategies and brand building. No BS. That's not how today's biggest names are growing their followings. No one ever changed the world by staying silent. You have a mission that requires greatness from you. Whether you're out to make a mark on humanity, grow sales channels, or simply help those who are facing problems you know you could solve, you have a mission that requires greatness from you. It requires that you learn the right strategies, put yourself in the right environments, and use the right tools. It requires you to own your growth.
Okay, so the no BS part, I would just say something about there being a better way, because some people are doing this. Some people are building their brands by throwing a lot of money at it with ad strategies. But there's a better way, and we're going to teach you the way.
Well, so originally this line was no BS. Those things don't work. But then I softened it to that's not how today's biggest names are growing their following, just to give us like a way. But what would you write here if you had to say like following you, like you can't wait for growth, blowing up your brand shouldn't take forever or cost a lot of money? No BS. What would be your words to answer that?
No BS. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is there's a better way.
And I can show you, or there is. And what makes it a better way? It's faster, less waste, less making mistakes. Like what makes it better?
It's sustainable. It is
eventually the idea is supposed to be cost neutral, right?
Cost positive. Like it's going to be a profit center, like approaching it as a profit center. Like I get that's some good language. I don't know exactly how to position it yet, but the idea that social media and especially YouTube doesn't have to be a cost center. It becomes a profit center, not indirectly because people know you and then you get a book deal, but direct. It can be a direct cost, not neutral, but profit center for your business. And a lot of people, I don't even know if I'd say like here, not how today's biggest name. Most of the biggest names aren't doing this.
Right. They treat it like an expense.
Yeah. Unless I'm working with them, really, most of them aren't doing this.
Well, that's I know I've heard some stories you've told me, but that's how this, like, maybe this number maybe isn't correct, but the idea of unlocking, 6-figure revenues in less than 60 days comes from some of the people that you've been working with who just didn't have certain settings on certain things, or weren't paying attention, or decided they didn't want to, and you had to fight for them and say, just please. And then suddenly now they're like, oh, there's an extra $1 million in revenue I didn't expect.
Yeah. No, that whole section was fine, except the word community.
Okay.
So that this part was fine.
Yep. Okay. And I imagine you're going to Evanize.
That's fine. Yeah. I would even I just delete the whole thing. That's movement makers. Did no one ever change the world by saying silent?
Oh, you mean the second one? This one?
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, you may not recognize your own words, but this is basically HPX. So you're opening to HPX, where you talk about the fact that you were nervous and you were scared and you're an introvert and 6,000 videos and this and that, but your mission demands of you. That was your word. My mission demands of me to blah, 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 blah. So that was the jumping off point for I still think even at this stage, we still have to convince people that it's worth the investment of time. They might be intrigued. They might flirt with it. This idea originally was like, you can't just flirt with, most people flirt with greatness. Everybody dreams. Some people do, but almost nobody steps up and blah, blah, blah. But like it was like a rah kind of challenge, but it's kind of become this now. So we can delete the whole thing, but I still think we need something kind of at this point in the page for those who believe that they can make it happen, but not sure, and this and that. And like,
I don't want, it's like, it's got to be higher up. It's got to play to the aspirational part.
Okay. Do you like the idea of like everybody dreams? Some people, everybody dreams. Successful people do, but the real people who stand out, blah blah blah. Like making people feel like okay, like I'm not only an achiever, I'm a high achiever, and so like while everybody else is off doing this, I can make this happen.
Yeah.
Like, do you think we need any of that stuff? still?
Well, so the mindset, imagine somebody who's looking at Gary Vee and saying, I could do that.
Yep.
But they don't know how, and they want a shortcut, and they want to get there, and they've launched some videos, and they feel like they're great at what they do, and they've got the knowledge, but they don't have.
It's basically our mutual friend Scoggins, basically, right?
Yes. He's heavy on the humility side. Not that that's bad, but there's a lot of people who have that ego as well. They're like, I could do that. I could do this. I'm already this. That guy is crushing it. And they may not be looking as high as Gary, but they could be looking at somebody else in their industry. Like, that's the guy who's crushing it. I've got this.
Yep.
That's what they're thinking. We don't need to only lean in on the ego play. So
yep.
Stephen is great. He doesn't do that comparison game.
Yep.
But if there's any belief that we're injecting, that's more it. I injected that into HPX.
Okay.
Just because I didn't know going there. I didn't even know what I was talking about yet. If you wanted me to talk about on the plane ride there, I'm like, am I talking Built to Serve or am I talking YouTube?
Right.
So he said YouTube. Like, okay. So I planned 2 different presentations. So okay. I do talk about it in that you're an expert. You have a deep well of knowledge.
Yep. Yeah, I can tweak that. That's just easy.
This is also in our positioning. We have to clearly delineate between movement makers and brand analytics.
Yeah, I don't see anything on this page that's movement makers like. I mean, it's interesting to me that you see this as movement makers. Movement makers were softer even than this, but if that's the case, we can move this over to movement makers.
Well, you could put that, you could copy and paste that chunk on movement makers and it would fit right in.
Okay. Cool. Be seen, be heard, earn the respect you deserve. Brandlytics will help you grow and monetize your following. And so basically there's this, let's go to monday.com. I just want to show you a section. So you see how there's like all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to be able to click on them. I don't need you to click on them, but I figure, we can design a really great
I see.
wall of things, but basically it's like action adjective. So each action adjective is different. And then potential outcome that people would want, whether they're moved by money, business, growth, ego, or giving back. Mm-hmm. So unlock higher income levels, become a household name, solve global problems, sign the book deal, build the email list, launch new products, create real wealth, buy a second home, fly first class, give back to those in need, build the team, generate ongoing leads, form exclusive relationships, find investment opportunities, leave a legacy, grow a community, land bigger speaking engagements. They can be in any order you want. They can be different words if we want. Just what felt like was really lacking in the page that we had, and what I really wanted to spend time on is, and plus your agent even mentioned it, like, what are the potential outcomes, right? I grow on YouTube. What do I get for it? Well, like, listen, if you're chasing any of these, you need YouTube basically.
Yeah. And I could play with those specifics too. That's fine. Be seen, be heard. Yeah. I might tweak that title part though. Be seen, be heard, and earn the respect you deserve.
I imagine you will.
Is that what Stephen wants?
No. This wasn't what Stephen wants. What Stephen wanted was just more specifics.
No.
More specifics.
Stephen, not my agent, Stephen Scoggins.
Oh, so interesting. I went to, I did this deep dive on the actual through, what's the publication? Scientific America or something? Anyway, I did a deep dive on the true motivations that lead people to want fame. Mm-hmm. And aside from what, the lifestyle that comes from money and fame, at the end of the day, like literally it boiled down to these two drives and desires, right? This I added to be more like a little, like I'm thinking like, the 10X crowd, right? Earn the respect you deserve. This is what I want, right? Like I want to be somebody so that way I can finally feel like I'm not that I'm with people at my level. It's actually that I'm good enough to be with the people that I think that I should be with. But we can tweak that as well.
Yeah. Just a third sentence. Like That's
this one, earn the respect you deserve.
Yeah. No. Like that's the one I have the problem with. Yeah.
I thought that working for like Grant's crowd basically is what I saw.
I like the idea of 3 because be seen, be heard is so short. Be seen, be heard, something.
Okay, that one will be changed. Get brand analytics for you or your team. Okay, right now in 2021 on YouTube, there's simply not enough quality content in your field. Others are trying, but tell us. I might have to work on that language. This is a quote from you, but tell us you can't do better. This is because originally you had tell me you can't do better, and I tried to change it. That needs to be fixed.
So this is a big thing. Like people, I don't know if we want to address this because I get asked this question. Is YouTube has been around for a long time.
Yes.
It's not Clubhouse or it's not TikTok or it's not whatever, right? It's been around for a long time.
Can you see what I've created for you?
Yeah. The question more is that, where am I going with it? YouTube's been around for a long time, but the thought leadership content sucks.
Right.
In every industry, pretty much. There's a few that are leading the way, but even then, like if you were looking at, you're in the marketing industry, how many high quality marketing YouTube channels are there?
Neil Patel. Yeah, I mean,
but like nothing. So
40 maybe. I don't know.
40 high quality? No. That are making consistent content. It's just no.
Well, I would put all of Casey. I would put Casey into that. I would put Chase Jarvis into that. I would put Neil Patel into that. I would put The Future. You know the YouTube channel The Future with no E. There's a bunch of them. Founder.
But even okay. But now, if you want to be great at marketing, you know how many marketing experts, geniuses there are who can actually deep dive on marketing? There's a lot of great marketing minds out there, and there's no content. The fact that you had to reference Casey Neistat, who I love, but has a personal vlog where every fourth video or whatever was actually answering questions, and the rest you have to infer. The fact that he's the guy who you're going to for quality marketing content on YouTube represents the problem, right?
Right.
Because you have to do a lot. And I love Casey. I mean, of all the guys, he's one of the most authentic and amazing YouTubers. But it forces you to read a lot between the lines and to pick up on what he's doing to say that's genius, because he's very rarely breaking down his marketing tactics.
Right.
That's the point. There's a lot of people who have great knowledge who might be presenting at a HubSpot or writing. How many people write books on marketing? Tons. How many people make videos on marketing? Nobody. That's of any quality. And so when I'm talking to somebody, this is where I'm appealing to the ego, like, Mark, you've got great knowledge. Let's go and look up marketing. And then I'll take people through and like, okay, what video would you write? What's a video title? And you'll say, I don't know, how to write a marketing plan. Okay, great. Let's go look up how to write a marketing plan. And then I'll load it up. I'll screen share. It's like, so look, here's this guy. This guy is better than you at making content about how to write a marketing plan. Are you kidding me? Who is this guy? And then you go look at him, and it's like, and then they realize, oh my God, there's nothing out here. There's literally nothing on thought leadership. As much as there is out there, there's nothing there.
Right.
So that's something people highly connect with. It's also been a more recent. So I don't know if you've ever seen me walk through that with somebody, but that's just a very super high level, quick example. Like I had this guy who was the top dog dentist or dog oral surgeon in America. It's like he's the Dr. Oz of dog dentistry, right? He's like, and so we're looking at the videos of how to know if your dog has a cavity. Great, right? Like this is stuff I have no idea on, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have dogs, but I don't know if a dog has a cavity. So we go to YouTube. How to know if a dog has a cavity? And then we start playing a video. He's like, is that? It's like, no. That guy is like that's not right. What he just said there is not right. I can't believe. And then he's getting all upset. But like, dude,
right? Because people are spreading misinformation, but he's not stepping up to write the record.
But he wants to. This is the gap that he wants to fill. People, and look, that video has 100,000 views. People are listening to this guy because you're not there. and you have better information than this guy does. And that's across every single thought leadership category. And that's really who we're talking to, right? Thought leaders. We're not talking about kids channels and pranks channels and that kind of stuff. But every single category of thought leadership, there's a lack. I mean, personal development is probably the most, but still, look at how many videos are there going up on personal development. It's still not crazy. Brendan does once a week. Tony does very little unique content around what he's great at, right, on YouTube. And then those might be people that people would look up to and respect. And then Gary and Grant, I guess, kind of cover personal development, but not head on. Mm-hmm. And then you've got, Robin Sharma, but like whoever you look up to is a handful. It's a tiny handful. And then there's this giant chasm. Mm-hmm. And I want the movement makers is training you to be the person. Here, you are the person, but just nobody knows it. And as far as the world's concerned, this 22-year-old is the person,
right,
in every field, and we need to change that. And I'm going to show you how.
Yeah.
So that's the like, well, YouTube is saturated, or YouTube's been around forever. It just hasn't been an educational platform forever, and now YouTube is the place that people go to, number one, to search for stuff. Like they're trying to find answers to problems. People go to YouTube to find that answer, where that wasn't the case even 5 years ago.
I can move this up. So you have a whole video on Is It Too Late for Me? And you go through that whole thing in about 2 minutes. It's just great breakdown, and you even use an example and things like that. So I wanted to package up that clip and then just touch on it as something that people could kind of like look at as fun, but we could move that whole thing up to kind of this area if we needed to. But leave that with me. So I have these 3 lines right now in 2021, because I wanted to establish this is actually late breaking. I wanted to reconfirm for people that this is on YouTube, and really this is just an introduction to get us into this more important things.
Yeah, I just make it more powerful, and even say like misinformation. It's not even that it's quality content. Like there is a lack of quality content, but there's misinformation in the system. And that they have, the other line that hits a lot is that you have a deep well of knowledge. And that a lot of people, if you watch their video, people can make a 1-minute Instagram video and just talk in headlines, but they struggle going to YouTube because they now have to make a 10-minute video. Mm-hmm. And in a 10-minute video, they repeat the same thing 8 times because they actually don't have a deep well of knowledge or know what they're talking about thoroughly enough beyond the headlines. Mm. Where the people that I'm talking to, ideally, right, in this is, no, you could do an 8-hour video and never repeat yourself because you've got so much deep content. The world just doesn't know who you are yet. I'm appealing to their ego and telling them what they want to hear and what they feel they're great at. And what I tell them that they suck at, they're okay with hearing that they suck at it.
Right.
You're a deep well of knowledge. You're the expert. People come to you for all the information, and you could run circles around this guy who's popping on YouTube, right? Oh, I feel good. Yes, that's true. Yes. Right? They've got all the awards and whatever on their background. You just don't know anything about YouTube. You don't know anything about how to promote yourself on social. Like, yeah, you're right. That's why I'm here. Perfect. And this works with all the people that, even all the giant channels that I help, is appealing to the ego of, you're the expert. You're so great. These videos are amazing. It's so many life lessons. You just don't know what you're doing here. And they're okay being told that they don't know what they're doing here, because we've set that up by telling them that they're so great. And that's all belief. Like I tap into, like, if anything, belief, that's it. There's like, I don't even know you, but I trust that all those awards behind you mean something, and that you're actually really good at what you're doing. I'm coming in thinking you're better than this guy who's already making content on YouTube. I don't want to convince them that they're better than the guy.
No. I feel that too, though. Like I go on something and I'm like, well, this person has that. Oh my goodness, I'm so much better than them. If only I just follow the system, and if only I follow the system, and hopefully I just put everything in place and blah blah blah. I know that I can do better than these people.
I suck at this, and I don't want to get, I want to shortcut my path. I don't want to spend the 10 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so appealing to that definitely helps. This is
Okay.
what I was like in training Jeremy to work with clients was one of the biggest sticking points. Is because when he attacks them and goes after their channel, they interpret the attack as a personal attack. Like, Jeremy, you have to tell them how great they are at everything that they're doing.
Yes.
And they only suck at this one little tiny thing.
Yeah.
And at that one little tiny thing, you're a genius at. And they're okay acknowledging that they suck at YouTube. And they'll also acknowledge that they're amazing at all these other things. Yeah. No, it's important. Like the setup makes a big deal. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is where we're starting to now get a little bit more specific. Learn the tactics, the biggest names used to play the algorithms and get overnight growth. So for that clip, I mean, we don't have to go through the clips because I don't have any sound here, but for this clip, this is where I want you to pull. We're gonna have to watch an ad. Why are there so many ads on Netflix?
Russell Brunson, baby, let's go.
Okay, and I said that we were gonna pull 19 to 21. So this is when you basically go into audience retention. It's just this great little clip where you explain audience retention curve. You know what it is because you've seen this a million times. But it gives the best. It gives such a good explanation of showing you do your thing in live training in front of an audience.
Yeah,
and it's easy to understand, and it's like mind blowing, and you hear the audience go, "Oh!" So it's like. Yeah, I love that clip. So
I would just take out. I love the wording around play the algorithms because I don't like the get overnight growth. We're gonna have to tweak that because that's a little too promissory, a little too hype because it's not gonna be. I mean, it is overnight growth, I guess. But
it is. I've seen you do that. You've done that for me, man. We changed a thumbnail and it was like, poof, like,
you know, when people read that, it just doesn't fit right. They will get growth, but when you see that, you think, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be an overnight success." I like play the algorithms because we've been throwing around a few terms for like play the numbers or something. I think you put in one of them, and everybody understands algorithms, the concept of it. Then they've heard enough Instagram algorithm, YouTube algorithm. A lot of people are also moving away from Instagram to get to YouTube, and this is what they're struggling with. So they understand already. I don't want to teach them to go on YouTube and be like, this is their first social media and they've never made any content before. So I like that. I like to play the algorithms a lot.
Awesome.
We might even move that up and like make it more promising, more prominent.
No, there's an order. I mean, we can use those words, play the algorithm, but I'm saying there's an order to.
No, I know. Just in terms of how to position it, like as a key thing of how to talk about what we do.
Yeah, I mean, we could move that up to this line, right? Like the science of building a massive following. Although you like data-driven decisions, but
play the algorithm. Yeah.
Okay, we like this. Okay, number 2, understand why some performance indicators fuel exponential growth and others just waste time and money. So for this one, I have a clip, but I need you to reshoot it because you use old numbers, and that's when. So it's a clip. It's a clip where you go like, "Hey, we're running." We're running 300 split tests right now, and I know your split test game has like blown up like crazy.
Okay, so how I would do this.
I've given you the script. I just want more up-to-date numbers.
No, that's fine. I would tweak the text here. So how this lands pretty well with people is YouTube is the most data-rich platform of all the social media sites. So you get access to just crazy amounts of data.
Yeah.
I love geeking out over all that data. I live in that data every single day. I'm going to teach you the most important ones to pay attention to. You don't have to know what
I can't say I have a sentence, so I can't go through
but that's
those
the sentiment.
3 points.
That's the sentiment.
So, but with this line, do you have an issue with fuel exponential growth, or do you have an issue with waste time and money?
It's just the whole thing. It's just very kind of marketing speak and not actually hitting me.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is understand why. So is it the word performance indicators? Like I'm trying to say, understand why some things, like understand which things will blow you up and which ones you can totally ignore. Like people ask you about tags, I'm sure, right? They ask you about tags. Hey, how important is tagging on YouTube?
Yeah.
Do you tag at all?
Like understand the data that matters.
So I'll find a different word for the indicator or the data, but but we're still fine with fuel exponential growth, or you don't like any of that?
No, fuel exponential growth is okay.
Okay, that's
Others
Tyler's.
just waste time and money.
I liked it. This is mine. Waste time and money.
That's okay. I don't know.
Why some performance indicators fuel exponential growth, I just grabbed off of your existing page. I added the word understand, and others just waste time and money. But
yeah, we could tweak that.
Yeah. Okay. Which XYZ fuel? Okay. Get the training and mentorship you need to capitalize on the hidden data that's just sitting there waiting for you to leverage.
Yeah, you see, like that's perfect. That's great. That is not just marketing speak. That's yes. We like that.
Cool. So for here, I wanted you to shoot something new. We need 1 to 2 minutes to illustrate this as if you're coaching someone in real time. So you can do it in your, like you can do it in your office on your computer. I just need a 1 to 2 minute clip. And I went through everything and I couldn't find just the thing that I'm like, that illustrates why, that illustrates the point. It doesn't have to illustrate hidden data or anything. I just need something contextual to show you doing you coaching. So up here, we have you on stage. Yeah. Here, we're going to have you as if you're presenting virtually because we're reshooting that from a stage thing.
We need to all the bonus. Like it sounds like you only got the HPX bonus, but you didn't get the grant bonus and
not the grant one. No,
the Marisa one.
I got the HPX. I got Growth Summit. I have access to all of your funnels, and then I have what I remember. I mean, I've seen a lot of your content, but I have what I remember from you. But I don't have any of those other things.
Yeah,
I don't have you with the Tony Robbins. I don't know if you recorded that. I have a photo of it, but I don't have you with Tony Robbins when you were doing the live training. I don't have anything from Joe Polish's Genius Network. I don't have anything from 10X.
We need to get you the ones with the bonus. I'll make a note, the bonuses, because I there's a couple of groups where it shows me training them.
Yep.
And people asking me questions in like jam sessions. And there's definitely stuff in there where if you want blunt, there's blunt. If you want training, there's training. If you want, cool.
Like, it's all in perfect. Then I'll find something. Okay. Start using the proven system that's backed with over 10 years of testing and development, 1 billion organic views, and millions upon millions of subscribers. So this, I was going to cut together 2 different parts of what are we using here for this? Why it's not too late to start on YouTube. So I have transcriptions if you need to see it, but this is the part where you actually get into the, I think the line you say is we need to address this insecurity that you have.
Okay.
I think that's the,
that's fine. I'll make a look at it. But especially if you already have a video for it, that's great.
Yeah, we have a video. It's the one where you talk about the insecurity, and then you talk about why the world needs you. Grow your channels no matter the size. Go from 10K to 100K, from 500,000 to over 1 million, from getting the Gold Creator Award to getting the Diamond Award. And then for this one, I think fear's not a good enough reason. So this is you on stage from HPX. So I have time code there for that. About a minute. So you can look at those videos and you can send me the other stuff. And when you send it to me, I can change these up. But just a bit of a offer stack. It's crazy that in 2021, these little known YouTube strategies are still being overlooked by almost all YouTubers and brands. So that's a quote from me. You're welcome.
Yeah. By almost all, maybe even YouTubers, like by almost all, most of these people. So another way I pitch it, which maybe is here or maybe is somewhere else, but I tell people, so one, people struggle with being everywhere. How many of you struggle with feeling like you have to be everywhere? You got to be on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and now there's Clubhouse and all this, and like everybody is freaking out. I'm going to show you how you can be in one spot, YouTube, and then create your content for everywhere. So that's one thought, because everyone feels like they're struggling there. And I asked them, hey, is your goal to be a YouTuber or to be an entrepreneur? Right? Like, they're not in the business of trying to be a full-time YouTuber. So we don't want them to, we don't want to, like, that could be movement makers, build you towards being a YouTuber. This is, you are already the expert at your thing. We're going to blow up your brand without you having to be a YouTuber. We're going to make YouTube videos, but your job is not to be a full-time influencer. You don't want to be an influencer.
Does that work for you better?
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's wording here, but that sentiment might be carried out somewhere else on the page.
Yep.
that makes sense in the positioning. They don't have time to be a full-time influencer. They don't want to be a full-time influencer. They already are successful. They look down on influencers because influencers haven't done anything. They've done something. I've done something. So we don't want to call them an influencer or call them a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to give them the strategies of how they can win on those platforms. So there's the ego side of it there, but then just the time side of they don't have time all day, every day to spend on this. They're too busy building their company.
Yep. Okay, so we don't like the word community, so we can change that. So this is just a quick 6-up that's kind of like, that's like this section here, right? So we just have 6 different things that we're throwing out. How the Brandalytics YouTube growth program system, whatever works. Your monthly membership gives you full access to 2 times per month training and coaching sessions. Again, we get into way more detail later. Tailored for thought leaders, entrepreneurs, personalities, and their teams. Teaches how to systematically analyze data to boost engagement and convert views into buyers. All content focuses on how to build a massive following through data-driven decisions. All training and coaching personally developed and led by Evan Carmichael. Get full access to the private Brandalytics Facebook group for ongoing support.
Yeah, it says lead instead of led by Evan Carmichael. Yeah, I mean, we could tweak that last one a little bit, but I like it.
Oh yeah, because you said earlier, you said they don't care about support. What's it called when everybody gets together and you pat each other on the back because you say how awesome you are? Like showing off, but like, what's it like when I come in and I'm just like, hey man, just good news. Like we just did this. And people are like, yeah, good for you.
I don't
Like
know.
what's
celebrating, sharing wins? I mean,
showing off, showing off, but with better words. That's what I mean. Okay, start your monthly membership. Okay, so 4 case studies. We don't have to get in these now because you'll look at them and they feel a little small, but we'll replace them as time goes on.
Wait, but I had different. Okay,
yeah, you gave me these 3. One of them was not good enough, and then one I asked for that you showed me. You showed me on a call we were on once. The woman who went to HBX and said, "Hey, I heard Evan. I started doing what Evan said. I did his training and then it took off, but you never, I couldn't find that. I couldn't find it through our conversations. I couldn't find that in email. You just kind of showed it to me with a screen share once.
Didn't I put it in the Facebook in our chat?
No, you didn't give me that one.
Oh, okay.
You gave me 4 other ones and I've used 3 out of the 4. One of them was just too in the weeds.
What? That was the biggest one.
Yeah, you didn't give me the biggest one. So that's why I'm holding space for here.
Oh, but the Garrett one, he's at 50,000 subs, 2 point something.
I have Jasper Basson, Terry Thompson, and Nicola. Those are the 3 that are the most interesting case studies. Like that have the best quote or results. All right. And finally, after 358 videos, one is taking off. Thank you, Evan, for doing this. Just a quick screenshot to show that my suggested traffic is picking up.
Garrett said, in the past year of applying Evan's strategies, our YouTube channel has over 200% more subscribers.
No, you never sent me that one.
I did. It's the very first one. Scroll up. Just above Nicola.
Oh, see now. I'm like, okay, hold on. Nicola.
You said,
yay, being on YouTube to the top words. Yeah.
Can you send me
Terry?
4 case studies?
Yeah, Nicola.
No, the very first, before Nicola.
Nicola, Cosmina.
No. Before that.
Terry and Jason.
Dropbox link. There's a Dropbox link.
Oh, okay.
Click the Dropbox link.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Nice. That's a good one. So in this Dropbox link, there's a whole bunch, or just this Garrett one?
Just that one. That's the link to that file.
Okay. Well, let's add. Okay, cool. So add Garrett.
And you need that link to the woman who sent the screenshot?
Yep.
Okay. So Garrett's at 50,000. So if we pair with we've got.
Yeah, no, these will be good. Garrett's will be good. This is basically on the page. We're right kind of in the middle. Most people scroll over this stuff. So that's kind of where we save the best for the top and kind of the bottom. But this is now the basically who is Evan Carmichael page. So we're not going to write who's Evan because the only people coming to this page have seen you in presentations, have seen you in other things. It's organic traffic. Join Brandalytics and get mentored by Evan Carmichael. I've created this new kind of 3-up that doesn't exist kind of on any of our other pages, but I want like this 3 million subscribers to be like designed like an award or something, like some kind of data number, an icon, an award, something big, and you're at 2.82 or something right now, right? So almost 3 million subs on his YouTube channels, 10 years on YouTube, over a decade of experience on YouTube. Watch his first video here. I pulled that. 1 billion views. Evan's strategies have generated over 1 billion organic views.
That'll be funny. Watch this first video.
Yeah. Yeah. And I even pulled the time code so it skips our silly logo and stuff. It's probably going to be an ad. Russell really wants to get me with all these ads. Yeah. Here's Mr. Carmichael. I love it.
Good times.
Good times. Yeah. I remember that day like it was yesterday, man. Okay. And then it just goes into the About Evan, a link to your channel.
It's over 10 years though, right? I mean, it's 11 years. April is 11 years.
Yeah.
No,
that's why it says over a decade.
Oh, I see. Okay. 10,
it was 2009 you started, right?
10 plus
So it'll
years.
be 12 years? Was it 2009?
10 plus years. April 2009 was the first video.
Okay. So it'll be over a decade. Is it too late challenge? Again, there's going to be a big video player here, but this can be moved. And then now we get into the actual offer. So this is where I taken some liberties, right? Start your monthly membership, no commitment, 60-day money back guarantee. I know on the other page you had a 30, but 60-day basically gives people 2 months.
Yeah, it's fine.
Cancel anytime. A Brandlytics monthly membership unlocks full access for you or your team. Yeah. Access is granted on a user level. Teams are required to purchase multiple users. Yeah. So I've created an offer stack with for thought leaders or kind of individuals. We could change it to, or for teams, 97 per month. And then this is basically offering them 2 months free, right? You've been comfortable in the past with the get 12 months for the cost of 10. So if someone has 3 seats or more, they just automatically drop down to this, get a full year for the cost of 10.
I think we should switch this whole I like the direction. I think the challenge is nobody has, so people do have teams, but nobody has more than one person who's.
The other thing I was thinking of is channels. Like if you wanted to sell it like, unlimited access for as many people as you want, but it's on a per channel basis. I mean, I have a team. So like if I wanted to attend and Joshua and I wanted Bo to attend too, that would be 3 people and that would be 3 seats, right?
Nobody does that. Like nobody's asked, nobody does that. Often they have one guy. It's either them or they have a person, usually a guy. But I do like the idea of selling an annual option.
So you can't foresee anyone. I know right now you don't have this, but you can't foresee someone who wants to buy 4 seats because they have different channels with different things or this or that or whatever.
Like even the biggest of the big, they would send one person to.
One person.
Yeah. Okay. Like there's one person in charge of this because it's part of their overall strategy.
Yep.
But nobody's asking, can I bring 4 people? I like the thinking. That'd be awesome. Like that's a good corporate play.
Well, the other reason I wanted to do this is because most people would buy a single seat.
Yeah, but see, there's options. Yeah,
and then just share a login password. But the reason why I wanted teams was I thought, we got to give them a reason to not just share a password. But so change to monthly or annually.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing I created, which I can run by you right now while we have it. Actually, we'll go through these. So I've renamed and repackaged each of these things just to try and have them stand out a little bit more. Okay. So tactical training is what I call basically your deep dives, right? Like we can change the wording, but basically tactical training, 85-minute advanced deep dives once per month, real-time training hosted by Evan Carmichael. Topics are selected by you in the community. We're comfortable with that. Mm-hmm. Member breakdowns and buildups, 85-minute coaching session, real-time coaching calls where Evan Carmichael reviews member accounts, strategies, and data analysis to give tailored advice. I don't know if you like the idea of breakdowns and buildups. I just thought it was kind of cool. Like I haven't seen that anywhere.
I don't know about the buildups, but
see, I had breakdowns first, but then I thought all you do is build people up, man. You make them feel amazing.
Movement makers, dude. Movement makers. They're not coming here to
fine.
They are going to feel amazing, but that's not what they're coming for.
Should we change this to teardowns then?
I don't know about teardown, but if it's case, I don't know if it's a case study.
Yeah.
Breakdowns.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, so straight from the lab.
Breakdowns maybe instead of member breakdowns.
It feels more personal if you're with the word member than with channel to me, but straight from the lab. So I've kind of packaged this idea of the early access. Evan and his team
I like it.
Test more tactics and hacks than anyone else in the space, get early access to the first looks at the results. Community access, unlock unrestricted access to the Brandlytics private Facebook group, get questions answered, brainstorm ideas with other high achievers, and get the cheers and love you need from Evan and his team. That was pulled from Movie Makers. So do you want that or no?
No. The last part, yeah, just that last part. Yeah. And in Brandlytics, the L needs to be cap.
Yeah. Okay. This is replays, get full access to all past tactical training sessions and member breakdowns.
Yeah.
Go back at any point and review past sessions, get the content you need on demand. Okay, so I created this. Now, this requires a little bit of your time. We can change it, we can tweak it, whatever. But I when we were going back and forth yesterday or even the day before, you were like, okay, like there's teams and there's individuals. There's teams and individuals. So sometimes the ego's there and sometimes it isn't. So when I thought we were busy creating like a multiple user group thing, I wanted to suggest that once a month, you create a 25-minute drop-in just for people who have purchased teams. So that way you could help them with the unique challenges that comes from being a team member and not the person, right? In terms of scalability, in terms of communications, in terms of, like I've asked you questions like, hey, Evan, like what software do you use to allow multiple team members to comment on your behalf on IG? And you're like, oh, this is a software we use. But even then, like we don't quite have the process perfect. So once you start to scale to the point where it's like the other day, I was like, I had to look into like, hey, can Joe on my team who does my community management for me, can he see my Facebook Messenger conversations because he has access? I don't know. Like, hard it was for me to find an answer to whether he could see my Facebook Messenger conversations because he has access to it or not. And even then, I don't know if I have the answer. So I like the idea, whether it's quarterly or monthly, and this is back when I was selling teams still. Now that we're not selling teams, but annual subscriptions, I don't know. But it is a really unique offer for people who are team members to get just a little bit of time with you for you to address the type of challenges that come from teams. If you don't want to do it, then we'll just roll that into you'll spend a month at one point talking about
tactical training. That's
tactical training.
Yeah. I mean, where I'm going with that, there might be something. So there's 4 Thursdays typically in a month. But on the 5th, maybe there's something we could do for either Brandlytics or for Movement Makers as some kind of bonus, bring a guest, or I don't know. Maybe there's something there. That's the only extra time that I have is that 5th Thursday when we have it.
Yeah. Can we create something that's only available for people who buy an annual subscription?
We could have them do an IG Live with me. And we could put them in first priority for who gets the member breakdowns. Yeah, it's priority because there's only going to be 12 in a year, so people buy it and may not be up next month. IG Live we can bring in more easily because I'm doing
I like
more in a week. Those would be the two.
Okay, so I can write that, rewrite that, redraft. See, this is what takes me so much time. It's not the copywriting. It's the trying to invent what we're doing and why. That's
you're great at what you do.
Why, thank you.
Don't have a copywriter.
Start your monthly membership. This is just a repeat of that. Okay, so at this point now, anytime someone clicks a call to action, they're going to be landing right here, right? Like this is the part of the page where everybody can go down, and then everyone who's below who hits a call to action gets moved back up.
Yeah.
So now we're at part deep onto the page where it's literally just like eye candy for people scrolling. So we're going to add the 4 up of people we're going to add the 4 up from this part of the page. These videos are going to get added with like this copy, like just basically take this and drop it on the page.
That Elena one is amazing. I need your help on YouTube to compete with Grant. Okay.
Then I grabbed and cleaned up from the YouTube booth camp. So this language might change.
The other thing,
but basically saying the types of contents we cover, the type of topics we cover in our tactical training, and then I just listed and rewrote, just lots of stuff that comes from your YouTube training that I know you'll be able to grab. And then the FAQ section. and then a final call to action. That's the page I have so far.
I think we need to show you have one sentence in there somewhere on it, but the YouTube allows you to be everywhere. We're playing a bigger game. I'm not.
But that's going to come from the why YouTube stuff, right? Like that's the very big pitch in the why YouTube. That's in the respect you deserve. Hold on, there's a few different pages or different parts where we mention it. This is you running different split tests. You know, I run more split tests than possibly anyone. I don't know what you have in here because we haven't pulled it from 10x.
I think it's pretty important because people feel like
I think it's here. Yeah. What's that?
I mean, I'm obviously happy to mention it in the opening video, but if people skip the video or don't watch it,
yep,
it's a pretty important point. People think of YouTube as another place to be. Okay, great. So let me be there as well as Facebook and Instagram, everywhere else. Where instead no, it's the place to be, and then everything else is secondary. Like that could even be a chart of like YouTube at the top, long form, and then that gets cut to all the other platforms.
Yeah. I might almost I want the why YouTube to be pretty high on the page. You know what? Maybe we should move this section over to why YouTube.
Yeah, that's fine. But I see it as it could be a chart.
What would be the chart? Oh, add a chart add a platform by platform chart
to help them visualize.
Yep.
YouTube is the only place they need to be, and then they can automatically be everywhere else. So here's the thing, people. People.
And it's still a thing for business people.
No, yeah, that's fine. People see those exactly as you wrote them. They see them as people see them like a line chart like you just did.
Yep.
And maybe they'll put YouTube at the front or maybe something else. The problem is that's not how you need to see them as one of many. It's not one of 8 things you need to do. It's the only thing you need to do. And all the other ones fall underneath.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can design a chart and then we can do but it could be actually more fun. It could be like, this is how people look at social media.
Or something like, this is how you can be on every social channel by making 1 video per week.
And then basically do flow chart or center. Do you want YouTube to be at the center with arrows going around, or do you want it to be produce YouTube content and then pull extracts? Like, do you want us to actually build out a chart where we're like, you look for the audience retention bump and you pull extracts here? Like, do you want us to actually create a nice little cheat sheet?
Not how,
okay.
But I think what I would just do is timing.
Okay, yeah, it's the sequential order.
Yeah, or we do like a little machine, or we do a machine like you've got YouTube at the top, and it flows into a little machine.
Yep.
And then that flows into Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the other ones. No, not YouTube to the YouTube into the Brandlytics machine into. It's going to teach you how to pump out content for all the other platforms. That module should be called something. No, we don't have to come up with it now, but like that should be branded something. How to turn YouTube into something, into everything else.
But it's not even YouTube. It's YouTube. It's the content.
Sure.
The content goes to YouTube, goes to the Brandlytics machine, goes to other platforms, and then does it ever feed back and cycle back up to YouTube or content?
No.
No?
I would even leave with the content. Just leave with YouTube. People see it like YouTube, IG Live, like how you had it before, and then this is how you need to see it. This is how you're everywhere with 1 video a week, still running your business and growing your influence. The influence isn't it, but growing your brand.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So still a bunch of things that we need to tweak and change, but I wanted to, I know it took me a really long time. I was like, it took me a week just to wrap my mind around what the hell this thing is.
Can we most of the pieces are close.
Yeah.
there's some video that I have to record, but that can be placeholder, or like a picture right now, and some. And
yeah. So today or tonight, I'm gonna make these changes, and then we'll get them to Tyler to start working on. I also created like I have actual references for him for like different sections, like
okay.
Like I've actually like I like this I found this part of this page, so like just that stack.
Yeah.
That's I wrote, like I saw this stack, I went, oh, we need a stack like that, and so I actually have design elements that I can point him in the right direction just to make his job a little easier too.
Okay.
Thanks, man. We're like way over time now. I was like, oh, we only need 20 minutes to work through this, right?
Times. All right, cool, man. Back to work.
Are you good? Are you good with it? Are you okay with it? I mean, you'll tell me if you aren't.
No. I would tell you if I didn't like it.
Yeah.
like battle tested tactics from people like X, Y, A, B, and MN, which is why we need to put it in the video. But you know what? Actually, similarly to Movement Makers or whatever the last, or Built to Serve, I think I like the entire page. I don't think I tweaked anything except that was
the 197 page. Yeah, the 197 page.
Yeah, it's like I didn't tweak anything, and you were making all these bold promises. Yeah, I like them all; those are all accurate, except the H2. We need to change.
Yeah,
we spent a lot of time on that one. Anyway, okay.
Well, it's so funny because I spend a lot of time trying to be like, okay, let's wear Evan's skin. Like, we want to make bold promises, and I like this, but will he like? Anyway, thank you, sir. Thank you.
You learned a lot. That's a good breakdown of how the sausage gets made, and you want to do your own version of it. That's a good start. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you want to see our last episode of 2020, check it out right there next to us. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe. We'll see you there.